Hi again, everybody. My name is Greg Anderson, and this is the Good Timekeeping Show with Greg Anderson. And today, I want to talk about these G-Shock watches. I'll get around to this one, but as you can see from my collection here, I've got a lot of them. I like them. I have a preference, obviously, for solar-powered watches. So all of these have solar cells built into the face, so they can charge themselves using solar power or even just everyday lighting, indoor lighting as well. They also have Multiband 6 in almost all of these. That will allow these watches to automatically pick up atomic time information from different transmitters depending on where you are in the world. These on this bottom row all have Bluetooth connections, so that's another way to either set up the functions and features on the watch or to make sure that they're all set to the exact correct time with Bluetooth instead of Multiband 6. This is the kind of stuff I like. Now, I also definitely have a preference for the positive LCD like this one on the left as opposed to the negative LCD like this one on the right. I just think that at various viewing angles, the positive LCD is easier to see at a glance. Sometimes the negative LCD, you have to just kind of position just the right angle to get that. In low light, it makes a difference. So I know some people, they really like the negative LCD, like this one on the right. Just gives it that nice stealthy look. Everything's kind of dark there. But I tend to not prefer these. It doesn't mean I don't have any of them. I mean, here, I've got this one here. That's kind of a special negative LCD with its kind of that red color scheme there. And this one, I bought this one specifically hoping I could convert it to a positive LCD by removing, taking the watch completely apart and removing a polarized film that's on the module. And I just I've decided I don't necessarily have the fine motor skills or the right size fingers to do that work. So I may or may not get around to trying to convert this to positive LCD, but it's pretty good as is. It's a good looking watch. So anyway, yeah, I don't reject negative LCDs completely, but as you see, I don't have very many of them. And so as I've said that in some of my videos, people have said, well, have you tried the MIP negative display? You really ought to give those a shot. And I didn't have that. Because I didn't think the MIP display watches I had seen from Casio had tough solar and also Multiband 6 or some sort of atomic time keeping on them. But then I saw this one and I thought, okay, let's give it a try. So let's just go side by side here. Now you tell me, what do you think of the MIP display here? That's memory in pixel. It's a different kind of LCD versus this kind of standard LCD negative display. As you can see, the MIP seems to be a little bit easier to see at various angles, and people just love how crisp and clear this looks. So they said, you got to try that. Come on, be fair about negative displays. So this watch is a distinct watch compared to all the G-Shock squares I have. This is the DWH5600. It's available in about 4 or 5 different colors now. And this one just happened to be on sale around Christmas time, Black Friday type sales. And so I decided to give it a chance because it was a really good deal. So this is unlike the other G-Shock squares. This has a Bluetooth connection. It does not have the built-in Multiband 6 receiver. So if you want that exact timekeeping synchronization with the atomic clock, you do that through Bluetooth, not all on its own. And then this display, it's unique because every single pixel within this display here is customizable. If you compare that, say, to this guy here, okay, everything when you change modes on this watch, everything has to kind of line up with the bottom line has to be based on those characters. If you're going to make up some combination of characters, it's going to be numbers there, and they're always going to line up right in that exact spot. Up here, you get a little bit of kind of an alphabet type of thing. And then this little box here is a little more customizable, that it can look like numbers or letters because it's got just a bunch of dots, a little dot matrix thing there. But this guy here, every single screen is customizable, and you can see just how versatile that is as you go here to change modes. The other thing is, if you're used to this kind of a G-Shock square, yeah, you press the mode button and you get to the different mode. You're right there. All of a sudden, There's your timekeeping mode. There's your world time alarm. You just go to those modes. Whereas with this one, I press the mode button and it says, okay, date and time. And it's just going to sit there until I press enter. Well, I guess since I was on date and time before, let's try another one. If I go to notifications, just sit there and it's waiting for me to confirm that. I have to press enter to get to the notifications. And now it's going to show that I've got some email and some text messages that through the Bluetooth connection, this has picked those up from the watch and shows me that. And then down there is the time in small digits. As you see, totally customizable, and it's a very interesting screen and very legible. I mean, as far as if you're not a big fan of negative displays, this may change your mind. And I know there are people out there that say, I love this screen. I wish they would put out a watch that does exactly what this one does as far as other functions. Just give it this screen. And they haven't done that yet. So I don't know what to tell you. I don't think I have any influence on Casio whatsoever. I know that a lot of people are asking for this watch with this screen. And well, if that happens, I'll alert everyone to it, but I'm sure I won't be the first to notice. So let me just talk about what this watch can do. As you could see, there were several modes. So, okay, from timekeeping mode here, we go to notification mode, and that was, picking up messages from my phone and moving them over to the watch. Heart rate, okay, it'll monitor your heart rate, and stopwatch. So if I press enter, I'm in the stopwatch mode. And then if I press, let's see, this mode button, and I always forget how to do this because it's different. It's different from what you're used to. Okay, I press the enter button to start that stopwatch. I press the enter button again to stop the stopwatch. And you see it's hours, minutes, and seconds, and it does not do tenths of a second or hundredths of a second. So that's a little bit different. Some of you are used to having that, might not be happy. And then, yeah, again, just kind of, I guess if I hold down this enter button, does that reset it? If I push the back button, that's it. Back button resets it, okay. And then if I push the back button again, it gets me to here. I can choose some other modes. Countdown timer is going to be similar there. Enter. Now I'm in the countdown. Now I enter again to start the countdown. Enter to stop the countdown. Back to reset the countdown. Back again to switch modes. So yeah, all this button pushing is going to be unfamiliar and counterintuitive or just non-intuitive if you're used to these. So just a fair warning. There's my world time, press enter. Yeah, and that's UTC right now. Press back to go to another mode. Almanac, that's kind of fun. It shows me sunrise and sunset where I am today. And let's see, if I go mode here, I can jumped ahead to tomorrow and the next day and the next day. So it's telling me the moon phase there, 7 days into our new moon phase, and other sunrise and sunset times for that day that's a few days out. Okay, then I go back button, mode again, cardio status. So it's got a breathing exercise. It's a fitness watch. Blood oxygen sensor. Wow. Life log, because it's kind of tracking your movements and what you're doing and making sure your fitness is okay. Nightly recharge. It's paying attention to how well you sleep, keeping some records on that. And let's see if I can go back to date and time. And I tend to just leave it here. Now, I will let you know that here, let's look at the back of the watch first. Okay, like you'd see with a lot of Casio G-Shock watches, there's a lot of information printed back there, the model number, the module number, but right there in the middle is something new you're not used to on your G-Shock Square. These are your sensors for the heart and oxygen stuff. And right there, those two little contacts there are for the charger, the USB charger. Yeah, that's new. You're not used to that if you're used to the other kind of G-Shock squares that I have. So yeah, that and you can see that that little array of sensors there sticks out a little bit. So if you wear this watch really tight on your wrist, some people have complained that it actually leaves a little indentation on the back of your wrist for where those things stick out. I will tell you, you don't have to wear this watch super tight in order for those sensors to work. So if you're getting a little indentation on the back of your wrist, probably just go ahead and loosen this watch a little bit. And there are lots of holes there for the buckle to adjust the the fit of that watch. Compare it side by side with this one, and you can see it's almost double the number of holes there to get a perfect fit for you compared to how it is on your typical G-Shock Square. So that might make it super comfortable for you. This resin also is a bio resin. I guess they make it out of renewable materials, maybe, plant-based materials. So, there's that. If that is important to you, I don't know that I can save the world by just replacing the, petroleum-based resins of a watch with this bioresin, but I guess it's all a step in the right direction. But anyway, it does feel soft and comfortable, and I find this to be a very comfortable watch. I also find it to be a little bit of an attention hog, okay? Because what happens is you get this watch, and it sort of compels you to wear it all the time. So, these other watches get a little bit less attention because I'm wearing this one so much of the time. Now I'm going to show you, if I go here to, let's see, hold down this mode button here, and I get into the settings. So enter, and I'm going to go down here, press mode until I get to watch settings, and I'll enter, and I'm going to go down here to watch face. There are 3 standard faces, so face 1 is the one you just saw. If I go down here and select face 2, I've actually found myself using this face most often. So face 2, if you go back here, this is going to show basically all the same information, but up there it's going to continually show my heart rate while I'm wearing it. Now let me just quickly go to face 3, and that's what face 3 shows you. There's a graph of all your steps. So since it's continually monitoring your heart rate and keeping track of your steps, like I said, it compels you to wear it a lot so that it can record that data and you can kind of get a look at it. Also, it sort of compels me to wear it at night. Now, typically, I don't wear watches while I sleep, but I've been using this and wearing it almost every night here for the last almost 3 months because it compels me to wear it so it can analyze my sleep. And I go to the Casio app, and it starts giving me some information about how well or how poorly I am sleeping. So, but for the most part, I leave it on face 2, which then, like I said, it monitors my heart rate all the time. Also, this is connected to Bluetooth all the time when I'm using it. Now, I know there are some people that they do not like the idea of having a watch connected to Bluetooth, and I get that to a point. And I'll just say to you right now, if that's your thing, if you just cannot stand the idea of having a watch connected to Bluetooth, even for a short time, much less all the time, this is not the watch for you. I'll say that straight up right now. You will not enjoy the experience of this watch if you refuse to use Bluetooth. Okay? Not only intuitively, it doesn't work the same way as your other G-Shock Square. That's going to bother you. And again, you're just going to miss out some of the functions and features and the convenience of setting things up with Bluetooth if you refuse to use Bluetooth with this watch. So, and also the price. Okay, this watch retails for $299. You can get something like this for half that price, maybe less. Well, I don't know. Maybe this color is not quite as common as it used to be. But anyway, you can get a G-Shock Square. Maybe get the one that doesn't have Bluetooth. Get something like this one, and you could probably get this for under $150. And it does all the great things without Bluetooth. And yeah, so why would you pay double or more for something like this? That was kind of a hard sell for me. But since it was on sale for a kind of a Black Friday special, I decided to try it anyway. And I got this for half price. I got this one for about $150. It was a very obscure website I'd never heard of. Someone recommended it. Half price. I decided for half price, I would try it. So bottom line, I'll just jump to the chase here. If I had to pay a full $300 for this one, I don't know that I'd be as happy with it. But for $150, I am happy with this watch. So I don't know what to tell you. The other thing is, I suspect that if you're into fitness watches, This one may not do as much as you would like it to do. You might be better off with a Garmin watch or an Apple Watch if fitness watches is really your thing. I mean, I know people that they run a lot, they exercise, they use the Garmin watch. It keeps track of exactly how far they're running using built-in GPS, and it does a lot of neat things like that. And plus, Garmin has been in the game of fitness watches for longer than G-Shock and Casio. So that kind of thing might be better for you. I think, unfortunately, I'd have to conclude that maybe this watch is not really hitting a market very well. The fitness watch people will probably find it lacking a few features that they really like, and G-Shock fans will find it just a little bit clunky and non-intuitive to work with. So if you're a G-Shock fan, this won't be your favorite watch probably. If you're a fitness watch fan, this also won't be your favorite watch. So I'm sorry. But as I say that, I also have to acknowledge I have worn this watch almost every day now for almost 3 months, ever since I opened it up on Christmas morning. So I like it. And part of me almost wants to treat this like a beater watch, wear it all the time, since it's not my favorite, but I wear it all the time and see if I can, if it gets damaged, it's okay. It's not my favorite. But I do wear it almost every day. So that just doesn't seem to make sense, right? That it's not my favorite watch, but I wear it every day. But it has held up well. Look at this is a daily watch for 3 months. And the only thing that's really wrong with it, if you look very closely here, where I put the buckle on every day, there's a little bit of a mark just where it's kind of rubbed on there, maybe some dirt that just hits the same spot all the time. Other than that, everything, and it's got a little bit of, just dirt and just maybe from my sweat and stuff on some of the creases and stuff there. But otherwise, it looks perfectly brand new after 3 months of daily use. So I don't think you can complain too much about that. The other thing about it is solar powered, and these watches here, they're solar powered, and I can keep them running at a full charge with just daily exposure to everyday lighting conditions. I don't have to go out of my way to keep these charged up. This one, however, especially since it's connected to Bluetooth all the time, and I have that heart rate monitor running all the time, this one does need some help to keep it charged. So it's solar assisted charging. If you had some of those functions turned off, like the heart rate monitor, then maybe it would just have enough power. Or if I were outside all the time, and granted, the last 3 months it's been winter time, so this has not had a lot of great exposure to lots of light from my daily use. So I find that once, sometimes twice a week, I do have to use the solar assist, the charger that plugs into USB. So there is your contacts for that. This is the charging cable. So on here, a clamp that right there, you've got two little contacts that line up with the contacts on the back of the watch. This clamp that clamps onto the watch. And then on the other end of this cable, you have just a USB-A connector. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you right now. If I clamp this onto the watch, okay, I'm lining up those contacts on the back, and then this is holding it, with the clamp here. And now if I plug this guy in to a USB power source that's just sitting over here off camera, there you see it acknowledges that it's charging the battery now. The little battery icon shows a charge right there, and that little battery icon has 4 segments. 2 of them are lit up right now, so it's about a half charge. And after, it doesn't take all that long. I'd say maybe an hour, maybe a little more, especially since it's half charged now. It shouldn't take more than an hour to get it to a full charge. And kind of the fun thing is when it's fully charged, instead of having little segments on the battery, it actually says high. So for those people that are really concerned, they want to make sure their battery is fully topped off. It does, after a little while, show you the word high right there to show, yes, you are topped off. Your battery is charged. Now, is that going to drive you nuts because you've never had to put a charger like this onto your G-Shock? It's going to drive you nuts to have to do that once a week, or maybe sometimes twice a week. I don't know. I've found that it's not that big a deal to me. The only thing I worry about is what if I lose, if I'm going on vacation or something, what if I lose this little charging clamp somewhere? then I don't know. I guess you could probably order another one, but that just seems like a hassle. And, so again, that might be something that your typical fans of these G-Shock squares will not appreciate. But so far, I think my main habit is I don't travel all that often. I just try to keep this charging clamp next to my bed. That's it. I never take it with me anywhere. And if I were to go on a trip for a couple of days, I would just make sure this was fully charged before I left. If I were going to go on a trip for like a whole week or two, I might just take a different watch. I don't know, because I just don't want to lose this charging clamp inadvertently. I'm going to go to the Casio app and show you a little bit more about this. Now, I know I saw someone else's video, and he makes some fun videos. I enjoy what he does. He was complaining because the order in which you change modes, the sequence here, he thought was, why do I have to scroll through all these things that I don't want to use to get to the thing that I want? Turns out that you can change the order of the different modes using the app. So this is the Casio Watches app, and if I tap on there and go to my watch, this being the same model here, the DWH5600, go to my watch, and shows me it's connected. It's kind of nice here. You've got your instruction manual. You've got some other kind of advertising there, but here you've got the different modes and some of the different things that it does here. You're running, walking, gym workout, interval timer, a bunch of stuff here that you can set up using the app. And there's so many things to set up. This is again where I say, if you don't want to use the app, I don't think you're going to like this watch. Use the app, use the Bluetooth connection, and you find all these things. I won't go through all of these, but here you can set your alarms. Like if I just tap on there, and it's going to show me, there's a waking alarm. There's some widgets here. Here you can change the watch face using the app, and you can choose, face 1, face 2, face 3 on here. And yeah, now I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go to, here's one under life log. If I tap on there, you can actually give your preference on whether you want to wear your watch on your left wrist or your right wrist. I don't know how much of a difference that makes, but it is something that you can set. So I've gone ahead and set it to my right wrist because I usually wear this on my right wrist. Sometimes I'll wear another watch on my left wrist at the same time, but that's one of the settings here. And again, I don't necessarily want to go through all of these. Nighttime, this is kind of nice because you can have it, it says set the parameters for nighttime to be used in heart rate measurements and notification settings. So if I say 11 p.m. for me, I'm usually getting to bed or soon to, and I'm usually up by 7. So during those hours, anyway, it doesn't interrupt me with notifications and kind of gives me my night settings. Like I said, normally with other watches, I don't wear them overnight, but when I do wear this one overnight, that's where the night setting is good. Yeah, just tons of stuff to look at here. But I'm going to go with watch settings, and let's look at some of the things you can set here. Key sounds and vibration. Maybe I didn't mention. This has a vibration alarm, and it can also beep. So you've got that setting there. The light, backlight. Let me just tap on there and show you. The backlight can either go for 1.5 seconds or 5 seconds, and you have the automatic light there as well. So when the auto light is enabled, when you turn your wrist up like that, and when it's dark enough, the light will activate for either 1.5 or 5 seconds automatically, and I like that. Yeah, other settings like 12-hour display or 24-hour display. These things are all in here, easily set with the app. That might be a lot more of a hassle to try and set using a combination of buttons on the watch itself without using the app. Notifications. This I've actually found to be a very useful thing. So I don't know if you're like I am. Sometimes when I have my watch in my pocket, especially my front pocket up on my shirt, every now and then I think I can feel it vibrating, and but it didn't really vibrate. So if I have the phone in silent mode where it only vibrates to show me that I've got a text message or some alarm goes off, or I've got a phone call and it vibrates, yeah, sometimes I think I feel that, but it wasn't real. So with the watch connected all the time to the phone, if I feel something in my pocket and I think the phone is vibrating, and then just a second later, the watch also vibrates, it's kind of nice to have that confirmation that I wasn't just imagining, that one was real. So, and then I can look down at my wrist if I want to and see, oh, it was a text message or it was an email. Or sometimes I get notifications from apps that I didn't know were sending me notifications. Maybe it was silent on the phone, but it vibrates on the watch. I'm going, well, I don't need the app from like the Target store to notify me every time something's on sale. So maybe I can go into the Target app and turn off notifications. But yeah, and sounds, you can have sounds or vibrations or both or none. So yeah, I've actually found that I appreciate the watch notifying me when I have text messages, especially because when I work, I get a lot of text messages through the day. So it's nice to know when I just got one and the watch will vibrate. I can look at the watch and read the text message. You have to press a couple buttons to do that. And you know, some people are going to think it's an Apple Watch. It works like an Apple Watch. Well, if I get a text message on here, can I write the reply on the watch without going back to the phone? No, it's not that advanced. But I just appreciate having that confirmation of the notification on the watch. And whatever's most convenient, I either read the text on the watch or on the phone. And for me, usually it's on the phone. All right, so I'm over here on the watch app and I'm looking at all these. This has a lot to do with setting up the watch. But what if I go back here to down here on this corner here, it says My Page. And if I go into My Page, this is where it kind of talks about my activity log and my life log. And it gives me kind of a daily, a little look at my health. And this is not something I was looking for, but sometimes it's a little bit interesting to look at. So here, for example, this is a few days ago. This is analyzing my night. How was my night? How was my rest? And it tells me that on this particular night, my sleep, my rest was compromised. I had, let's see, based on previous night's sleep and nervous system status indicates to what extent my body has recovered from the previous day's training during the night. So, and right there, it gives my kind of a chart of how my sleep was going. My actual sleep time was only about 5 hours and 10 minutes with some interruptions, REM time, light sleep, deep sleep. I'm not sure if I took this to a sleep expert, some sort of medical professional, to have him analyze my sleep, if they would find this to be very accurate. But I think I could tell you that, yeah, judging from what I remember from this night, yeah, I did wake up plenty early, much earlier than I expected to, and couldn't get back to sleep. And so this is, in a way, just kind of a reminder to rub my face in it. Like, yeah, you don't think you got a good night rest? Yeah, well, I can show you with data that indeed you did not get a good night rest. So that's one of the reasons I feel compelled to wear this more often and wear it at night, so I can kind of get some of that data and start looking at it. But then, it's daily, it's weekly, it's monthly. It's showing me some of my cardio data here. There were a few days I wasn't wearing it, so maybe this data is not quite complete, but I can kind of scroll back and forth and look at different days and see, how did I do with some of these statistics. So I'm not going to go much deeper into this stuff. I think that when it comes to this kind of data, if you're really truly interested in a fitness watch, I don't know how this compares to what an Apple Watch would tell you about your fitness, about your workouts, about your sleep, or a Garmin watch, and how their data might compare with what this watch is able to tell you about that. I do know that you can link the data from here, from the Casio Watches app, to the Apple Health app. What's the name of that app? Anyway, it's on my phone here somewhere. So, if you feel like some of that software, some of those apps do a better job, or something you're more familiar with as far as tracking your activity and your health and all that, there is the ability to send some of that data to another app to analyze it. This really is my initial thoughts. I wanted to wear this watch for a while and really get to know the functions and features before I made a video about it, because I just thought there's so much to learn, so much to get used to, and I really wanted to know this watch very, very well before showing it to you. And finally decided, well, I should show it to you anyway and give you my initial thoughts. But I don't consider this video to be a fully in-depth video on everything this watch can do. My purpose of making this video really is to show you, here's the watch, here's what it looks like. I already have some ideas about what's good about it, what I like about it, things that maybe I wouldn't like about it. Price being the main thing. If the price were lower, I wouldn't care so much about not being interested in all the things this watch can do. And also, again, my initial thinking that if you're really, really in the market for a fitness watch, this one might not be right for you. And if you're really, really interested in a G-Shock with just a few more features, this also might not be right for you, because it's a different kind of experience. Now, I'm just going to quickly show you what it looks like on my wrist. Not bad. I have about a 7.5 inch wrist, but you see there's still plenty of room there if I have a larger wrist. And I do appreciate all those holes for a more precise fit on this. It does feel like a nice, soft, that bioresin band. And I find it to be a very, very comfortable watch to wear, especially, I've been wearing it at night. I think the readout is great. I really do like that. As far as negative displays go, that's really good. And I think I might jump on the bandwagon and say, if they made this watch with this kind of a display on it, forget the Bluetooth, forget all that fitness stuff. You can take the sensors off the back of it and just put this kind of a face on there. I'd get on board with that. I think that's a pretty good idea. Again, a good looking watch. There are some other color variations out there. I find this one to be kind of nice. It goes with maybe denim and some of I've got some jackets that are kind of a good match for this color. Any of you cardiologists out there, you might be concerned. You might say, is that really your heart rate? Is your heart really that? I've always had a little bit higher heart rate than what the average guy would have. This is maybe a little bit higher right now just because I'm moving around, I'm talking, I'm doing some things. I think that this is probably a pretty accurate heart rate monitor. You might wonder, do those sensors work with all this hair? I've got a lot of hair on the back of my arm. Does that interfere? So far as I can tell, it doesn't. You can see at night, you can see a little bit of a light being emitted back there. Because I don't think I have to wear it so super tight in order to make that work. I'm not sure if the oxygen sensor works quite as well as I'd like it to. I think there might be an issue with that as far as the hair on my arm. I don't know if that has something to do with that, because half the time it seems when I try to use the oxygen sensor, it'll give me an error after a couple minutes, and then every now and then it will work. So I don't know. Should I try to trim that hair off of my back of my arm and see if that makes a difference? I don't know. Let's do an official weigh-in. Here's how much it weighs on my, 62 grams. Now that's a little bit more than, say, this Sand and Land version at 54 grams. Something like this one that has a combi bracelet. Okay, that's going to be a little bit more. How about this fancy Japanese model with the screw-down case back? Okay, so they're all kind of within range. Well, how about this super light, the one with the carbon fiber, right? See how light that is. Okay, so it's just kind of right in the middle. This one is the, combi bracelet version 2, mostly composite. And again, just a kind of a typical G-Shock square without any fancy things to make it weigh more or less. And again, not much heavier to go with this guy. Here's a demonstration of that automatic backlight. If I turn my wrist, it just comes on, and you can see this may not be the best representation of what that's going to look like to your eyes, but it is kind of fun. If I push the button too, I can just do that with my finger and see how that's going to look. And it stays on again for a good 5 seconds. So it is fun to have that as your backlight. It's more of that, LED bluish kind of a backlight, but with your own eyes, it looks more just kind of contrasty, a little more white than it looks like in this video. And it is a very nice clear screen. And really, that's about it for now. I know I've talked a long time, but I feel like I still haven't told you, all the nitty-gritty details. I haven't gotten into all the functions and features and gone through every step of the app. I still feel like I need time to kind of get to know this watch. And also, there's some modes that I really haven't explored very much, like the workout modes, the breathing exercises, some of the things that are on here that I just haven't explored. What is that? Cardio status and breathing exercise. Yeah. So, I'll work on that and see if I can get you a more in-depth review on some of those other things. But I really felt it was necessary after these several weeks to give you my overall view of this watch. Again, for the price, I think I probably would not have bought it for the retail price, but I was happy to get it at the discounted price. And I do like that screen. I have to agree with everyone that MIP, memory in pixel display, is something to be considered for the future. And I really hope that we do see some more things along those lines. All right, that's all for now. I've got some more videos in the works, including I have another G-Shock Square I need to tell you about, and maybe another one or two more after that, and some solar charging. There's more stuff coming up. So please join me soon for more episodes of the Good Timekeeping Show.